Well, hello, my friend. I'm your host, Conny Graf. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. So, I'm working right now on updating my 3-year plan and budget for 2026, and I wanted to share a few thoughts with you. A couple of years ago, I read Duncan McPherson's and Chris Jefferson's book, The Advisor Playbook, a really good book, by the way. And 2 quotes from that book stand out to me whenever I do planning. The first quote is, "Without a guidance system, we tend to drift or spin our wheels and mistake motion for action." And the second quote is, "Success is a direction, not a destination." And that's really how I see planning and budgeting in my business and for my clients. First and foremost, as a guidance system. And second, not as a destination, but a direction, the direction we want to go into. Directions are usually not hard to manage, but if we, as the captain of our ship, only occasionally check the course, the ship potentially will be so far off course that we either end up on a cliff or we get severely damaged. Or the required course corrections will take a lot of time and resources. And I'm sure you heard the example of being 1 degree off course. Might not seem like much, but over time it can mean the difference between reaching our destination or ending up hundreds of miles off course. Usually that example is shown with an airplane, but it works just as much as with the ship. And that's why captains of ships and captains of airplanes constantly check in and course correct. It's the same thing with our finances. If we're not paying attention to our money, if we leave it unchecked, this can turn into a big gap between where we are and where we want to be. A small leak will sink a great ship, as Benjamin Franklin famously said. It's often not one big thing that derails our finances, but all the little unchecked habits, untracked expenses, or missed details that over time can seriously throw us off course. And here's what most people don't talk about: the emotional weight of all of this. When we're not paying attention, when things feel out of control, when finances feel out of control, it creates so much stress, so much anxiety, and decision fatigue that affects everything in our business and in our life. That's why I help my clients not only tackle the practical side of finances, but also the emotional clutter that often comes with it. Because being stressed out about finances, you are cheating yourself and your business and your clients out of the best version of you. Yet, so many business owners captain their ship without a navigation tool at all. Especially in the beginning of their journey, they think they can get away without a budget, without a plan, without an overview of where their money is coming from and where it's going. They don't want to plan or think beyond the next month with their money. They only think about the days and weeks in front of them. No regard to where they actually want to be financially or want to go financially with their business. But as a captain of your business ship, you have to be able to answer these questions. How are you navigating your finances? Do you know where your destination is? How often do you check your guidance system, aka your budget or compass? Do you even have a guidance system, a compass, a budget? Are you currently on or off course? Would you know if you are on the right course? What kind of feedback are you receiving to know you need to correct your course? How do you actually reduce the turbulences and other rough conditions in your business that try to divert you off course? For me, that's why I have this ecosystem of plans. I have a big vision, which I call North Star. I have a 3-year plan, which I call Lighthouse Plan. And I have a budget, which is my compass. And these 3 together help me navigate. They give me directions and they keep me from drifting. Without a North Star, a big clear vision that pulls us, And without a lighthouse plan, a clear idea of what shore we want to reach in the next 3 years, and without a compass, which is a detailed plan for this year that gives us directions. Most people call this a budget. We have no way giving an informed answer to any of these questions that I asked you before. And this is why I have a North Star, a lighthouse plan, and a compass. But then I hear so many people feel restricted by a budget or by a plan. They see it as a limitation or even as a punishment. But it's none of that. A plan and a budget is your best tool for saying yes to what matters most to you and your business, and no to all the distractions that drain you and let you drift into some la-la land. It's your compass helping you go where you said you want to go. If your budget or your plan feels like a straitjacket, it's usually because it's not connected to your North Star, not connected to the big vision you have for your business and for yourself and where you want to go. And it's not derived and a part of the Lighthouse Plan, which is that 3-year outlook. When your budget is part of that bigger map and ecosystem, it becomes actually a tool for freedom, not restriction. Also, a plan and a budget, they are living documents. You keep them front and center in your business and update and tweak them on the regular. They give us directions, yes. They keep us from drifting and help us navigate around the dangerous cliff in entrepreneurship. But we can't foresee everything all the time. Things change. And so our plans have to be tweaked and adapted to the new situation, right? If you're a solopreneur or a smaller business, then the North Star and Lighthouse Plan can be fairly straightforward and short. Maybe just a written statement. And you mostly focus on the budget, what I call the compass, as your most important tool to get ahead. But the bigger you are already, or the bigger you want to become, like in revenue or how many employees you have, the more focused you need to be, and you really need more than just a yearly budget. You really need the ecosystem of a big vision, a 3-year plan, and a budget. Especially the Lighthouse Plan, that 3-year plan, is where the magic happens for making better decisions and thinking like a CEO instead of reacting to whatever is urgent. Back when I was still working in corporate, I had to create 10-year plans, which seems really ridiculous in today's world. But I did find that 3 years is the sweet spot. There are a lot of advantages to a 3-year plan, even in this fast-changing world. It gives us the general direction. And instead of making decisions from urgency and pressure and what do I need to fix right now, or what is the right decision, do I buy or not? Do I make that expense or not? You can zoom out and ask yourself, what is the general direction I want to go in or go to? And from that point of view, you can make way better decisions. So if you have a Lighthouse Plan, if you have a 3-year plan, when the day-to-day happens and you need to decide whether you want to buy this course or buy this software or buy whatever you're thinking of investing in, you can go back to your 3-year plan and make sure it fits into it. You stop thinking only in terms of this month or this quarter, and you start thinking more like a CEO, like a real CEO, more mid-term and long-term. It also pulls you out of short-term panic mode and puts you more into long-term leadership mode. Therefore, when you plan and create such a 3-year overview or 3-year outlook, you make better decisions, not rushed ones, not reactive ones, not fear-based ones. The plan acts like a flexible guidance system that prioritizes where you want to go in terms of profit, cash flow, net worth. In short, you build something sustainable. Because you know too that growing a business requires personal growth. And if you want higher revenue, you need higher capacity. You need to be able to handle the pressures of a higher revenue. That means building the skills and the habits and the leadership traits to handle that next level. And that's what I also cover in my own Lighthouse Plan. This is why it has 3 sections. The first section is the business model, what I stand for, what services I sell, and to whom. And then also where I am standing right now. Where am I right now with revenue and gross profit? The second part is a self-assessment. What is working right now? What is not working? And what is draining my energy? And what skills am I missing? Maybe it drains my energy because I miss skills, but maybe I also need to invest into resources or into outside help in order to actually grow and reach my 3-year plan. And then the third section is really the financial target. What revenue, profit, net worth do I want to achieve in 3 years? And it's really nice if you know where you want to be in 3 years, because maybe if you're not there or on track after year 1, you still have 2 years to get there. And it's not always linear how we're growing, right? Like we sometimes grow like a roller coaster. And if you have your 3-year goal in mind, you're not freaked out if 1 month your revenue is down or the first year you don't reach your yearly revenue goal. You can still reach your 3-year revenue goal, right? So it really gets you more into a mid and to long-term thinking mode than in this reactive short-term thinking mode. And then when you did your Lighthouse Plan with these 3 sections, that's when you're ready to create your yearly budget, the compass, how I call it. And then you break it down into quarterly and into monthly goals and all this thing that we usually do with a budget. But I find without a 3-year plan, it's really hard to just like take this standalone year and plan something. How is it connected to your big vision if you're not having something that actually guides you, right? Let me end with this. As a business owner, you do have to deal with finances. You have no choice. So what if you could deal with them with more peace of mind? When you do make friends with your numbers, there will be a sense of relief and empowerment. And if you want to hear about the common financial missteps that planning helps you to avoid, like only looking at finances at tax time, not focusing on cash flow, or robbing Peter to pay Paul, go listen to episode 247. Those missteps are exactly what the Lighthouse Plan and the Compass helps you prevent. And if you want support with your business finances and planning, reach out and book a free Bring Your Chaos to Me call. Together, we identify one clear, doable action step to move you from chaos to a bit more peace. And we'll also see whether working together would feel like a good fit. There is no pressure, just a genuine conversation to see if our values align and whether I can help you and support you. Okay, my friend, that's it for today. Thank you for listening all the way to the end and have a beautiful week. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.